During World War I, the United States Navy recognized the vital need for submarines as a crucial component of their naval strategy. The unprecedented global conflict presented new challenges and demanded innovative approaches to marine warfare. Submarines emerged as indispensable tools that could disrupt enemy supply lines, enforce naval blockades, gather intelligence, and effectively counter the dominance of surface fleets. Understanding the strategic advantages offered by submarines, the Navy swiftly embraced their development and deployment. Recognizing their potential to tip the balance of power in the treacherous waters of World War I, the U.S. Navy introduced the S-class of submarines. And with that, in 1921, just 3 years after the end of World War I, the S-48 was commissioned. The S-48 vessel was part of a new generation of submarines designed to operate in conjunction with surface fleets, with the ability to launch torpedoes and provide reconnaissance for naval operations. During its initial 3 years of service, the submarine was primarily involved in training exercises and readiness preparations. These activities aimed to familiarize the crew with the submarine's capabilities and maintain the submarine's combat readiness. The S-48 participated in various training exercises with other submarines, surface vessels, and aircrafts to improve coordination and tactical skills. These exercises often simulated combat scenarios and helped the crew hone their abilities in navigation, torpedo firing, and evasion tactics. In addition to training, the S-48 also conducted surveillance and reconnaissance missions to gather intelligence and familiarize the crew with operational areas. This included patrolling along the east coast of the United States and participating in joint exercises with the U.S. Pacific Fleet. Overall, the primary focus of the S-48 submarine during its first 3 years was to train its crew, refine operational procedures, and maintain readiness for potential future deployments in combat situations. However, the submarine's story would be a short one, as it would meet its untimely end just 4 years into its service. On the morning of March 10, 1925, the S-48 was conducting exercises off the coast of New Hampshire, alongside several other vessels from the U.S. Navy Atlantic Fleet. The submarine was commanded by Lieutenant Commander Albert H. Clark, a highly experienced officer who had served on submarines during World War I. Despite Clark's expertise, the S-48 would soon find itself in the midst of a disaster. On that day, the S-48 was conducting a series of diving and surface drills, which required the vessel to descend to a depth of around 60 feet. As the submarine began its descent, the crew members on board noticed the vessel was taking on water at an alarming rate. Despite their best efforts, they were unable to prevent the flooding as the submarine's ballast tanks had filled with water, causing the vessel to lose its buoyancy and sink even faster. Within a matter of minutes, the S-48 had descended to a depth of around 132 feet. At this depth, the water pressure was so great that the submarine's hull began to buckle and twist, and the crew members on board could feel the vessel beginning to break apart. As the S-48 continued to sink, the crew members on board attempted to send a distress signal using the submarine's radio equipment. The signal was weak and garbled, and it is still unclear whether it had been received by any other vessels in the area. The crew members attempted to release the submarine's escape buoy, which would have floated to the surface and indicated the vessel's location. However, the buoy failed to release, further adding to the crew's distress. For several hours, the crew members of the S-48 waited in darkness and silence as the submarine sank deeper and deeper into the ocean. They had no way of knowing if anyone was coming to their rescue, as they were running out of air and time. At a depth of around 240 feet, the hull of the submarine finally gave way, and the vessel imploded with a deafening roar. All 40 crew members on board the S-48 perished in the disaster. The submarine's wreckage was later located on the ocean floor, and an investigation was launched to determine the cause of the disaster. It was eventually determined that the S-48 had suffered a catastrophic failure of its main induction valve, which allowed seawater to flood the vessel's engine and battery compartments. The loss of the S-48 was a tragic blow to the U.S. Navy, and it served as a stark reminder to the dangers of submarine warfare. The incident also highlighted the need for improved safety measures and equipment on board submarines, as well as highlighting the importance of effective communication and rescue procedures in the event of a disaster. In the years that followed, the U.S. Navy would make significant advancements in submarine technology and safety, with new vessels designed to withstand the pressures of deep-sea diving and improved communication and rescue equipment. Despite the loss of the S-48 and its crew, the incident served as a catalyst for greater innovation and safety in submarine warfare, ensuring the future generations of sailors would be better equipped to face the challenges of operating in the deep ocean. Rest in peace to those that died aboard the S-48 that day. If you want to hear more scary, fascinating stories, check out this video, which you might enjoy.